Welcome to Slash Bash, where today I am bringing you another malicious compliance Reddit video. In our first story, threaten my job when I'm already quitting? Let's jump right in. I work at a well-known huge grocery store in the bakery deli. I've been in the general area now for 3 years, been in management, and recently stepped down this year to focus on college. In early July, I turned in my letter of resignation, letting them know that August 13th would be my last day. It's now about mid-July and we've got an audit going on. Basically, everything has to be perfect. They ask you questions about your job, everything has to be on code, etc. Up till this point, we've been having an issue with staffing because instead of hiring employees full-time, they hire everyone part-time. I am the only full-time employee in my department. Because of this, there's never enough people to work, and they'll schedule 4 people working 3 or 4-hour shifts one night, and then the next one person will be closing alone the entire night, usually me. I'm fine with that, I enjoy working alone, but this night was extra stressful with all the extra work I had to do because of the audit. I was all alone the night in question, and working a shorter shift than usual. We tend to close the deli around 8 p.m. and have 2 hours to clean up. I was scheduled till 8:30 p.m. and spoke to my managers about it and got permission to close at 5 so I could take a lunch break and have 2 hours to close up. My managers also said that I would be sent someone around 7:30 p.m. to help me close on time. Around 7 p.m. a woman comes up to the meat slicers asking for some sliced meat. I tell her I'm sorry, but we are closed for the night. She tells me off for a moment, complaining that she comes here every other night and we are always open. I explain to her that we are low on staffing and I've already cleaned the slicers for the night, then she leaves. About 5 to 10 minutes later, my assistant manager walks up and asked me what the problem was. She had gone to management and demanded we slice some meat for her. I explained the situation, and his response was to berate me for closing the deli down early and tell me to help her and just clean it again. Just stop being difficult, is what he said. After slicing her some meat, we ended up being out of a different kind, and she walked out of the store leaving everything behind, meaning I had created more cleaning for nothing. I was pissed. I took a walk to cool down, then went to find my buddy who was supposed to come over at 7:30 p.m. to help. When I found him, I asked when he was coming over, and he told me he wouldn't be able to come over because the assistant manager had given him a long list of stuff to do for the rest of the night. That pissed me off even more. I found the assistant manager and was like, "Dude, WTF?" and reiterated that I was leaving at 8:30 p.m. and needed assistance, and he told me to once again stop being difficult and to just get it all done. I told him there was no way I was getting it done in time and said that my schedule says I leave at 8:30, so I'm leaving at 8:30, regardless of how much is left to do. I guess he hadn't gotten the memo that I was quitting soon, and so in response, he tells me that if I can't do my job well enough, that maybe I should start looking for another job. That was my breaking point. After 3 years of working with crappy management and their backwards ways, I decided I didn't need to do it anymore. I told him, okay, found some of my favorite coworkers and told them goodbye, and it was nice working with them, and walked out. I haven't gone back since. They failed their audit. 6 other employees in my general area quit shortly after that time, due to most of them traveling out for college. Many others have told me they are planning on leaving as well. As far as I know, the entire area is flipped up. I hope the manager got his butt chewed out, but I doubt it. In the past, I've reported some of the managers there for serious issues, telling me they were too busy to help women whose lives are being threatened in store, retaliation, threatening to fire people if they didn't work overtime, which caused someone to lose Medicare, and then have to ration their insulin, which led to them being hospitalized for a few weeks. And none of my complaints went anywhere. Flip that place. Story number 2. You don't want a woman working on your car? That's fine, but you're going to be waiting a long time. Many years ago, I worked at a car dealership. The attached service garage was small, and I was the only licensed mechanic. I would occasionally have issues with male customers. They would second guess my diagnoses, watch me while I worked on their cars from the bay door, double check my work in the parking lot, etc. I didn't deal with customers directly and would often get my apprentice to pull cars in and out of the shop for me. This morning in particular, we were busy. The lot jockey and apprentice were occupied helping wash cars for delivery and driving to a customer's house. The service advisor left a work order and keys at the parts counter. I went out the front through service to get the car. It was in for a service campaign, which was an update done with a scan tool. It takes about 10 minutes. The customer was planning on waiting and was sitting in service. When he saw me with his keys in my hand, he immediately stood up, alarmed. I was hustling, so I walked right by him and out the door. I missed the following conversation, according to the service advisor, also female. "Who is that chick? Is she going to be working on my car? I don't want her working on my car." The other tech is out at the moment, so it's going to be quite a wait until someone else can look at your car. "That's fine, I'll wait for a guy. I don't want that chick touching my car." Understood. The advisor comes to let me know, and I pull the car out and put the work order and keys back on the counter, nonplussed. Half an hour passes. The apprentice is still away, and I am happily working on something else, bringing other cars in and out. The customer is now watching each and every person who comes through the door. The high school co-op student comes in to get something signed. The customer's keys are still sitting on the desk. It's been about an hour now. "Hey, why hasn't my car gone in yet? Can't you get this guy to do it?" "No, sorry. He's just a co-op student, so he is not allowed to drive the cars due to liability and insurance concerns." "Just get someone else to bring the car in and he can do the work. This was supposed to take 10 minutes. "Sorry, sir. He's just a high school student doing his co-op. He's not approved to perform warranty work. Only licensed techs and apprentices can do the recall." The car jockey returns. The advisor hands the car jockey a different set of keys, and he brings yet another car into the shop for me. The customer is becoming incensed. "I've been sitting here for over an hour and I've watched 5 cars go in before mine. My appointment was for 8 a.m. This is getting ridiculous." Blah, blah, blah. At this point, he says that he literally doesn't care who does the recall, but that it has to be a guy. The service advisor starts listing off the names of the men who work in the dealership, then saying why they can't perform the recall. Well, there's Harmon, but he's just the car jockey. He doesn't know how to work on cars. Then there's Jeet, but he's about 17. I wouldn't want him doing the recall personally. I guess we could ask Mike, but Mike is the parts guy. He doesn't know how to use the scan tool. The detailers are men, but they know nothing about cars. The customer is fuming at this point and demands to talk to the service manager. The manager comes out of his office and guides the customer into the garage. He's pretty old school, so he lights up a cigarette standing at the end of my bay and points at me. "That's my best technician. Those guys take orders from her. You can either wait for her to finish what she's working on and then you can ask if she's still willing to do your work, or you can take your car somewhere else." The guy was pretty shook up at this point, and he took his car and left 2 hours after he first arrived. I don't think we ever saw him again, which was not much of a loss, all things considered. That manager in particular always stuck up for me and took my side. The service advisor has this very deadpan sense of humor. She knew full well it would be easily an hour before the apprentice would return from his errand, and that no one else could do the recall. This was not the first sexist we had encountered. Thanks for reading. This is John from /Bash. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed the video and want to be the first to know when the next one drops, then subscribe and click on that notifications bell. We would love for you to drop a like, share it with your friends, and we will see you in the next one.